Welcome back to another year of consumer wellness sessions. For those of you who are new, and we do have some new people joining us, so thank you very much. And thank you to those who have been with us before. My name is Joanne Carr, and I'm the director of OASIS, which is our education department here at Omega Alpha. And this year, we're going to be tackling a number of different topics. And again, I appreciate you registering for these sessions. For those that are new, what I do is I record all of the sessions and I send you the link to the recording. So whether you're able to join live or not, please register. And if you don't join live, I will still send you a link to the recording. I will also send you a copy, an attachment tomorrow, a copy of the presentation, and you will be able to get 40% off any of the products in the human, pet, or equine lines. So we also have that available for you. So watch your emails tomorrow and you will get a copy of this presentation, a link to the recording, and the coupon that you can use online to purchase products. So today's topic is all about using phytonutrients and how we can support the body daily from a cleansing perspective. You've probably heard the phrase, let food be thy medicine, medicine be thy food by Hippocrates. Very true. What we eat and drink every day can make a big difference in how we feel, how we look, our overall health. And by the way, I failed to mention, if you have any questions throughout this morning's presentation, please don't hesitate to write your questions in the chat or the Q&A, and I will stop and try to answer your question at that time. You do not need to wait till the end of the presentation if you have a question you'd like answered immediately. So on with the show, so to speak. What are phytonutrients? Well, the term phyto is just a fancy name or term for plant. So nutrients that come from a plant source. And at Omega Alpha, we are very well known for our plant-based or herbal-based nutraceutical formulations. Our products are very safe. They're tested in-house and also sent out for third-party testing. So if you're looking for quality, efficacy, safety, products that are economical, then you've come to the right place. So phytonutrients are basically natural compounds that help protect plants from germs, fungi, bugs, and other threats. So as you can imagine, as we consume these types of natural compounds or plant-based nutrients, that's going to protect us as well from what's going on internally. So there's more than 25,000 phytonutrients found in the plant kingdom. So there's a lot. We get them from, again, different sources, and the sources are listed here: fruits, vegetables, legumes, herbs. A lot of our products are herbal based, as you will soon see if you're very new to these presentations. Nuts, tea, whole grains, and many spices. And now what we cook with can really make a big difference in how we feel and how we provide nutrients to the body through antioxidants and so forth. So I always say variety is the spice of life, especially when it comes to the foods we're eating and the different colors of fruits and vegetables that we are consuming. Because with the different colors of fruits and vegetables, we get a whole different array or variety of different types of antioxidants that will protect different organ systems in the body. So when we look at macronutrients, for example, like carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, these don't fall into that category, but they are very beneficial to our health nonetheless. So I always say, look at the next time you have lunch or dinner, you eat a meal, check to see, does your plate or does your bowl, is there a lot of color in what you're eating, or is it very bland looking? So if it's bland, then we want to add some more color, different fruits and vegetables, starting with what we like to eat. So this is where the variety comes in. So how do these phytonutrients help us? Well, they basically help to control inflammation. They support our body on a cellular level. So they can support what we call the antioxidant defense to protect our body from stress. That could be stress from exercise. It could be mental or emotional stress, anything that creates stress in the body, being on medications for a period of time, poor dietary habits, all of these and more can create a lot of stress in the body. So just understanding that and looking at getting more antioxidants, a variety of them into our body, into our system, can really help us feel better. Anti-inflammatory. We need to look at things that we can ingest that are going to control inflammation. And we're not going to be able to control all the inflammation in our system. But if you are dealing with, let's say, for example, osteoarthritis, or if you have allergies, every known health condition that affects us, there's some level of inflammation that surrounds that health issue. So ginger, curcumin, or turmeric are very good examples of anti-inflammatories, things that we find in herbals, things that we find in spices that we cook with. Some support our immune system, and especially this time of year when people are prone to getting sick, whether it's a viral or bacterial infections, people tend to be less energetic this time of year, especially following the holidays where maybe we've overindulged in certain types of foods or beverages that we normally don't indulge in. That can render us a little bit more fatigued. So we might be more tired this time of year. So we're a little bit more prone to becoming ill or suffering with, colds or flus, for example. Phytonutrients also help to prevent damage by carcinogens, what's going on in the environment and what we're breathing in, from a toxicity level, the types of foods we're eating, even the sun, which we don't see as much of normally during the winter months, depending on where you live, of course. Ultraviolet radiation can affect our skin, tobacco smoke. Whether you're a smoker or whether you're exposed to secondhand smoke, these can potentially affect us, our respiratory health, and other things. Environmental pollutants are a lot harder to control than what we're eating and drinking, of course. So we take a look at the world around us and we step outside every day, and depending on the level of toxins in the environment, where you live, these can play a major role too in our health. So we're going to look at ways that we can support the body on a more ongoing basis. And our liver is responsible for many functions in the body. And a lot of people choose liver support formulas because of that very reason. Whether you have a specific liver related issue or not, because it's such a busy organ of detoxification, a lot of people like to target this organ. Now, having said that, when I mention the term detoxification or cleansing, that scares a lot of people. So I want to alleviate any fears right now that you may or may not have associated with cleansing with your liver. Because we've heard horror stories from some people. I'm not sure of how many of you have basically embarked upon a cleansing program before, but there are ingredients in natural supplements that can purge our system, which means that we tend to experience more intense side effects like diarrhea or intense gas or bloating. I just want to assure you all that whether you choose a liver, kidney, or lung support formula within our product line, that they're very gentle herbs that we use. We don't use any purging herbs. So you're not going to have to be near a washroom at all times during the day. We don't want to sideline our daily routine. That's the last thing we want to have to deal with, because we're all doing different things. We don't want to have to always need to know where the nearest washroom is. But a product like Liver Plus is something that you can take on a more ongoing basis to gently support your liver, especially if you have liver related issues. For example, our hormones are affected by whether our liver is working are functioning well or not. So if we're suffering with mood swings or things like that, any type of hormonal imbalances, as we go through menopause or andropause for the men that are joining us today, whether it's, again, the liver is specifically linked to how we're digesting and absorbing our food. Our skin, if you suffer with eczema or psoriasis or any skin dermatitis, anything that affects the skin, supporting the liver can be a great support for the skin, because the skin is our largest organ of detoxification. So as we see changes in our skin, that could mean that maybe it's something we're using as a cream, something that we're using topically, or maybe it's that the liver is just very congested. So quite often we would suggest a liver cleanse like what we find with the Liver Plus. Gallbladder issues, if you or someone you know has had their gallbladder removed, you can safely use a product like Liver Plus or Liver Flush. For those of you who know about the Liver Flush, which is our liquid kind of equivalent. But the Liver Plus is a capsule, so not everybody likes the liquid. So if you're someone who likes capsules, the Liver Plus would be better, for a better option for you. And we try to please everyone. We don't always do that every day, but we try to support people as much as we can with different options for capsules or liquids. Cirrhosis, so chronic liver related issues like cirrhosis or hepatitis, for example. We're not magically going to reverse these types of conditions, but we can help manage the body through these types of health issues and try to, improve the quality of life for individuals suffering with these types of health issues. Elevated liver enzymes would be diagnosed through testing, diagnostic testing. Elevated liver enzymes quite often are the result of taking non-steroidal medications, anything that we need to manage pain relievers, for example. Fatty liver is on the rise. We get a lot of calls, and by the way, there's a toll-free number on all of our bottles. Anytime you see, if you go on our website, there's a toll-free number that you can call our office and you will be directed to me, or you can just email me or call me. I know I have spoken with many of you or emailed many of you before. So we have that option. We're here to help everybody. Fatty liver is on the rise because a lot of people are, their diets are not the greatest, and they're starting on a healthy program, and part of that program is changing what they eat. They might start to exercise a little bit more. Fatty liver can be the result of drinking a lot of alcohol, poor dietary practices, and things like that. So people are starting to become more aware, and this would be an excellent option for someone who's been diagnosed with a fatty liver. Hepatitis, inflammation of the liver. Of course, anytime you see itis tacked on to any condition, that means there's inflammation. Although there's always inflammation, but itis just means there's inflammation of the liver. It's a hepatic thing or anything to do with the liver. So for chronic related issues, this is a great way to gently cleanse on a daily basis where you need that support for your liver on a more ongoing basis. Or if you prefer capsules to liquids. So we suggest taking one capsule 3 times a day with food. Divided doses is always the best way to take supplements because you're providing herbs like milk thistle and others, burdock, for example, throughout the day, not just at one given point in time. So taking your supplements throughout the day, even though that's not practical for many people, is the best way to take supplements regardless of what you're taking. If you can't do that, then taking everything at one time would be better than not taking it at all. So this is a great product to support your liver gently on a more ongoing basis. Now, there is milk thistle in our Liver Plus, but there are many people who take milk thistle because maybe their healthcare practitioner has suggested it for them. And if it works for you, and I always say we're not here to confuse people, we're not here to try and reinvent the wheel. If you have found something that works for you, please stick with it. We're all kind of guinea pigs at this stage of our lives, or wherever you are with your health issues. We're just trying things to find out what works best for us. Now, this is a major difference between taking natural supplements like these and taking medications, because medications are prescribed for the majority of the population, whereas nutraceuticals or natural supplements, we need to kind of play around and find out what works best for us. So this is where one of the differences of looking at natural supplements. Another difference, and we always suggest, we are on board, of course. We're not trying to get people to go off their medications and take our supplements instead. That's never something that we would suggest. But we can work together and take our products safely with medications if you want to do so. And we will talk about that at the very end. So milk thistle is a single ingredient formula. Milk thistle all on its own, and it works well for many people. I do find that multi-ingredient formulas, though, do tend to work more efficiently because it's more of a comprehensive approach. Having said that, everybody is different, but you will notice that the majority of our cleansing formulas are what we call multi-ingredient formulas. So when you take, for example, an ingredient like milk thistle in this formula, it works well for many people. And if it works for you, I would suggest continue using it. But if you want to branch out and try something a little bit more comprehensive, you could try the Liver Plus, which we just looked at. But milk thistle works very well on its own to help regenerate healthy liver cells. And the great thing about the liver is it's the only organ that can regenerate itself. So even if someone has had part of their liver removed, it can regenerate itself, and it's the only organ that can do so. So I would still recommend milk thistle for hormonal imbalances, digestive issues, skin related issues, elevated liver enzymes, some of the things we're seeing that we just looked at with the Liver Plus, but this is more of just a single ingredient approach versus looking at a multi ingredient approach with the Liver Plus. We have had the milk thistle available in capsules and liquid. Liquids are always going to be better absorbed and work more quickly than capsules will. So if you're someone that expects quick results, like most of the population does, and if you're used to taking medications, you're used to seeing a quick result. Our products don't work as quickly. They never will. Now, the more you take, the faster you'll see results. And we don't want to go overboard, especially when we're cleansing the liver. Even though they're gentle formulas, the more we take, as we increase the dose, we could increase potential side effects like feeling nauseous or bloated or experience diarrhea. So following the dosage on the label is usually what I suggest. There are people I know that will go out and double or triple the dose, but please be aware that when you do that, you do enhance your chances of experiencing what we call a healing crisis, which sounds a lot worse than it is, but it's more about how we react. And if you've never taken a liver cleanse formula before, you might want to start off with the suggested dose, or you could even go with a reduced dose. You don't have to go with what's on the label. This is just suggested by Health Canada, but you can play around with the dose if you're a little bit afraid and you've never taken anything like this before. You don't have to take it as suggested on the label. That's just a general guideline for everybody. But we do have something available, whether it's a liquid or a capsule here for your liver. And it just helps to support your liver and gently release toxins from your liver. The toxins will get into your bloodstream and they will be released either through the skin. That's where we might see some issues with skin. So if you suffer with psoriasis or eczema, it might get worse before it gets better. But as I educate on this, hopefully I will alleviate any fears and you can just reduce the dose accordingly. So we don't have people, giving us a call saying, oh, that Joanne, suggested I do this. And now my skin is breaking out for people with acne and things like that. You just reduce the dose, drink more water, more fluid, and I will go over that at the very end as well. Kidney support. Most people don't give much love to their kidneys. A lot of people focus, in my experience, over the years at Omega Alpha, I see more people choosing the liver support formulas than the kidney support formulas normally. Normally, we get people, choosing Kidney Plus and products that support the kidneys because they have a kidney related issue. And some people, if you experience lower back pain, that can be a symptom of kidney issues. Again, we don't self-diagnose. I know a lot of people go out and check out what we call Dr. Google and try and self-diagnose, but it's always good to know what you're dealing with before you choose the appropriate supplement. If you do have kidney-related issues or you just want to use products in a preventative way, which I always like to support, preventative health, Kidney Plus is great for people who suffer with urinary tract infections, edema, which is a fancy term for water retention, after you've taken medication, because the kidneys are responsible for filtering any medication that you take or anything you take in that's a liquid. bladder infections, gout. Now, gout is a good one because, or not a good one, I shouldn't say a good one. Gout is never good, but gout, and we tend to find men experience gout more than women do. Gout is the result of a buildup of purines in your system, and that could be the result of eating too many um, foods that are rich in purines, like even asparagus, which is healthy for us, is rich in purines. Really rich sauces. So if you enjoy French cuisine, that's a perfect example of where, it's very rich. Anything that's rich, any type of a sauce, for example, that could lead to gout if you're not careful. If you just have it from time to time, that's fine. I'm not suggesting you don't consume or enjoy any French cuisine for the rest of your life, but it's all about doing things in moderation. So, gout affects the big toe normally and can be very painful for people who have ever suffered with it. And of course, I have a colleague who has suffered with gout in the past, and he has said it's very painful. Kidney Plus or Kidney Flush are very good at kind of flushing out and reducing the level of purines and the crystals that can build up and create pain in the joints. So if you suffer with osteoarthritis, this is something you definitely don't want to have to suffer with on top of that. Cystitis is inflammation of the bladder. Nephritis is inflammation of the nephrons, which are part of the kidneys and help filter toxins. They're part of the filtration system built into the kidneys. And kidney stones. For people with kidney stones, I would recommend the Kidney Plus versus the Kidney Flush, because the kidney flush liquid will flush and move things around. So if you have stones, you don't want to take anything that will flush or move anything, because it could cause a blockage in the ureter, and that's something that you don't want to have to deal with, intense pain. So Kidney Plus has these herbs that will help break down the calculi or the stones. So this is a safer option for people with kidney stones or bladder stones, without basically moving or flushing, moving them around. So Kidney Plus is great if you do have a tendency or you're predisposed to developing kidney stones. That can also have a lot to do with your diet. When we're looking at stone buildup, it has a lot to do with your diet. So Kidney Plus can be used as an adjunct to changing the diet and looking at, staying away from pop and things like that, foods that are going to potentially build up stones or not help break down calcium as well. So we suggest taking 2 capsules 3 times a day with food. And then again, we normally recommend it. It can be taken ongoing. And this is, again, the plus products are for more chronic ongoing issues. The flush or the liquids are more for again, the starting point. Now, for those of you who are interested in learning more about the flush products, I will be talking about them on Thursday. So you're welcome to join the Thursday morning, 11 o'clock Eastern time, when I talk about the liquid formulations. I will talk about them then. And then the Veggie Fruit Plus, this is the last product we're going to look at this morning. And this product here is a product that contains so many different nutrients. It's really it's amazing. For those of you who have ever taken greens based formulas like the Greens Plus, some of our competitors' products, and Greens Plus is very well known for those who know about greens. And this is along the same lines. And when I mention antioxidants at the very beginning of the presentation, we talk about reducing inflammation, providing a variety of fruits and vegetables for our system. We are supposed to get or consume 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. Not only looking at the antioxidants, but looking at the fiber component of these foods as well. So if we're not consuming 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables, and a lot of people fall short of that mark, then they will add fiber-based formulations like Veggie Fruit Plus or our Healthy Colon Plus, for example, which I'm also going to talk about on Thursday morning. But in the meantime, the Veggie Fruit Plus is a freeze-dried powder, and it contains all of these different foods from land and sea that we don't normally get on a daily basis. We have superfoods, which I've broken down into, as you can see, a whole bunch of them. So the superfoods are contain a large amount of antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, nutrients that are going to basically control inflammation and support the body from an antioxidant perspective. We've got grasses like alfalfa, barley grass, wheatgrass, which contain so many different types of vitamins and minerals, chlorophyll for cleansing our blood, omega-3 essential fatty acids, proteins. So if you feel like you need a little bit more support, if you're feeling under the weather, and this is one of the nice side effects I find of this formula, is that I find I have more energy because it's cleansing my body initially, and you can take it every day. Now, normally, I suggest supplements to be taken on an as needed basis, but this is one of the few products that I would recommend taking every day of the year, especially if you're not consuming your 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables. Although we do want to try and change our diets to be more health promoting, of course. And I never suggest taking supplements without changing the diet to a certain degree because people can be lazy and they feel that, well, and this is the way many people think, oh, I'll just pop a few pills or take some powders and I'll still go and eat fast food 3 to 4 times a week. And I'm still doing something good. Well, yes, you are doing something good, but the products are, you're only going to basically find results based on how what you're eating as well. So you'll get better results if you eat a more health promoting diet, of course. And I think everybody understands that. It's just about getting and making those changes. So as I always say, baby steps are the way to go. We don't want to make people go from one extreme to another because people will tend to fall off the wagon, so to speak, with regards to trying to stick with a special way of eating. So baby steps is always the best way to go. This can be added into your supplement regimen or to add to how you're eating if you want to make changes. And January is always the time of year when people are trying to do better things for themselves, for the most part. So we don't have to go join a gym or anything like that. But, with added exercise and more free radicals and more stress on the body, we can add a product like this. Our sea greens, spirulina, kelp, chlorella. Not a lot of people get these types of nutrients. And this is why even on a rare basis, people are not consuming these types of nutrients. So you get all of these great it's a very nutrient dense type of formula. You get vegetable proteins, chlorophyll, B12. If you're lacking in energy, this is a great product to add into your daily regimen. Fruits, antioxidants coming from different, extracts, goji, grapeseed, basically provide antioxidants, which we're hearing a lot about. Antioxidants are synonymous with being anti-inflammatory. So the more inflammation you can control in your body, the better you will feel. Super fruits and veggies, again, it's a great way of getting a combination of fruits and veggies in a very economical package, I guess you could say. And for people who are very busy and they don't have the time or the energy to cut up different fruits and vegetables or try to do that, it is a great way to start to feel better. And once people feel better, they'll have more energy to do what they want to do, whether it's more exercise or whatever it is throughout the day. It's a great way of getting more fiber into your diet as well. And so as you can see, it's pretty jam-packed full of, essential fatty acids, fruits, veggies, lecithin, flax, a great source of omega-3 with the flax, and the sunflower is more of an omega, is considered an omega-6. Omega-3s are lacking in a lot of people's diets. And omega-3s are great for controlling inflammation, but they're also important for how our brain works, how the cells work in the brain. So we have to be nice to our brains as well. If you're finding that you're forgetting things, our brain is a very important organ. Standardized extracts, which we're very well known for. We've got ashwagandha, milk thistle, very cleansing for the liver. Siberian ginseng, great for supporting our endocrine system, healthy energy levels. Adaptogenics. That basically means it's any nutrient that is going to help your body adapt to stress. Now, I don't know anybody who's not dealing with some level of stress at this moment in time. And if you're not, then kudos to you. But we all experience different levels of stress from time to time, whether it's physical, psychological, emotional. We need to support our bodies, especially through times of stress. I do find a lot of people tend to not eat properly when they're stressed, or they don't take their supplements when they're stressed, and that's the time when we really need to pay more attention to what we're consuming. We've got some probiotics, prebiotics, and enzymes in here to help break down not only what's in the formula, but what we're combining this formula with food or whatever we're doing it, taking it on an empty stomach. This will allow the body to digest and absorb nutrients from all the wonderful ingredients that this formulation provides for our system. The detoxification support is safe to take. If you want to take this product for 2 or 3 months, please go ahead. It's completely safe to take. I find most people are concerned about long-term consumption or ingestion of supplements versus the short term. I will talk about that very shortly as well. This is a perfect formula that you can take ongoing for months at a time if you need to. And as we transition to whether it's a healthier diet or whatever we're trying to accomplish, whatever our health goal may be, this definitely is something that could be considered when we look at daily cleansing or nutrients that come from plant sources or phytonutrients. So the Veggie Fruit Plus comes in capsules and powders, in a powder form. So you can take 3 capsules 3 times a day. I'm more of a powder slash liquid person myself, but everybody has their favorites. So it's what we call a concentrated food formula. There's 18 superfoods, 3 sea greens, 16 different antioxidants, 7 phytonutrients. But again, this looks great on paper. It looks great on the slide. However, you will feel the difference as you start to take it. You won't notice extreme side effects from a cleansing perspective with any of these formulas that we've looked at so far this morning. It's a gentle support for the body to help release toxins from different organ systems. We've seen the liver, we've seen the kidneys. We'll look at the lungs and the colon. Well, this is actually very beneficial for the colon as well, this one here. But we will look at colon support. We'll look at an anti-parasitic on Thursday morning as well. So we'll further that and delve deeper into the whole world of cleansing on Thursday. But you can see right now from a daily perspective, these products are very safe and very gentle and very efficacious for the body. If you're following a very low calorie or low carbohydrate diet, this is any of these formulas are fine to take. Any of our formulas would be safe. There's 14 calories per 6 gram serving. The capsules are great for on the go and travel. It boils down to the individual's preference. The suggested doses are on the label, as you will all see, based on Health Canada. But this is everything but the kitchen sink basically thrown in to support your body. Brings the body Makes the body more alkaline. Now, why is that important? Because when your body is more alkaline, it's better able to fight off, viruses, bacteria. Your immune system is supported. There's less inflammation occurring when there's more alkalinity. And unfortunately, many people consume diets that are more inflammatory than anti-inflammatory. So this can bring more alkalinity and help bring down inflammation in the system for whatever ails you, basically. Now, this is the slide for those of you who are new. For those of you who have been with me before, know that at the very end of every presentation, I always include a strategy slide because I am a firm believer there's a strategy to everything in life, whether you're sports minded and whether you play sports or whether you're an equestrian or whether you're just trying to figure out the best way of eating or doing things to achieve your health goals. I like to have this slide available so we can understand how the products can be used together. What do we do in situations where people are on medications? Because that's very common. So let's take a look at this strategy slide now. The liver plus or milk thistle, which we looked at at the beginning of the presentation, they can be taken after the liver flush. So if you like normally what we recommend is to take the liver flush first, and I'll talk about that Thursday. But if you don't like liquids, then you can go directly to liver plus. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. For example, if you don't like liquids, you can start with the liver plus instead. There's no Not everybody has to follow the same path here. So if you like capsules, then you can go directly to Liver Plus or the milk thistle capsules. You don't even need to start with a liver flush. But many people will start with a flush to clear out some toxins, and then they will go to milk thistle or Liver Plus for ongoing support for the liver. So you have a number of options here. There's no one way that everybody has to follow. Kidney Plus can be taken after kidney flush, or it can be just taken first if you don't like liquids. So you have an option again here. But the Kidney Plus is more for chronic kidney related issues. The Veggie Fruit Plus can be taken daily for as long as you need to provide needed nutrients from land and sea, nutrients that we don't normally consume on a daily basis, including myself. And, we try our best, but we don't always get a lot of nutrients. So this is a great way to get everything together, and we don't have to go and figure out what we're lacking and what we need to combine. All of that guesswork has been taken out of it for you. These have all been scientifically researched by Dr. Chang and his team of healthcare practitioners. So you can just take the products and you don't have to worry about the proper ratios of anything. One thing to do, though, and this is a difficult thing for many people to do, is to stay hydrated, to consume 8 to 10 glasses of water daily, especially when you're taking cleansing formulas like these. So we want to stay hydrated, because when our bodies are dehydrated, it's harder for the cleansing process to basically work as efficiently. So when you stay hydrated, and keeping in mind that a large percentage of our bloodstream is made up of water, or a large part of our bodies are made up of water. So we want to make sure that we stay hydrated so that the toxins, as they travel through our bloodstream and out of our system, whether it's through the skin or the bowel or through the kidneys, that we're allowing that. It's like a major highway system to clear out and take away any waste removal. So this is how our bodies cleanse. We want to get the toxins out of our systems. So as if we are dehydrated, we're not consuming enough liquid. And when I say liquid, I mean water, herbal teas will also count as liquid. I'm not talking about beer and wine when I'm talking about liquids here. Dehydration concentrates the urine and increases the risk of infection for people who suffer with, any type of kidney infections or liver infections. So we want to stay hydrated. It's a problem for many people. So, if people want to add lemon or something like that, I find herbal teas are really good this time of year, because with the cold weather, people like to drink warm beverages. So adding an herbal tea, like a milk thistle tea or a burdock tea or anything that you like to, even ginger or whatever it might be, green tea, you can drink these herbal teas, and this is another way of getting more liquid into your system. Now, the cleansing supplements can be taken together safely. So if you want to take Liver Plus and Kidney Plus together, by all means, you can do that. Or you can take them one at a time. But all of the products have been formulated so they can be taken together. You always have the option of taking less dosage wise if you experience a lot of fatigue as you start to take the Liver Plus, the Milk Thistle, or the Kidney Plus. That can happen sometimes with some people, and you won't know until you start taking it. Don't hesitate to reduce the dose or take less. Start with a lower amount, and you can work your way up to the suggested dose. So then, anytime you do experience what we call a healing crisis, and again, the term sounds worse than it actually is. If you're more tired, or you're more gassy or bloated with products like Milk Thistle or Liver Plus, these are normal side effects associated with these products. So just again, reduce the dose, try to drink more fluid. You might notice that you're more bloated with the Milk Thistle or the Liver Plus. You might notice your stool changing in color or consistency. Now, I'm not saying this to scare people away. I'm saying this because if you are armed with this information before you start to take these products, at least you are aware. And that's the first step in the direction of daily cleansing. Now, let's say you're on medications, or you know someone who is, and you want to suggest this product to someone you know. We suggest to take our products 2 to 3 hours away from any medications at all, just to be safe and not interfere with how the medications are working. Because there are some people who think that just because these formulations are natural, it means that it doesn't matter. You can take them at the same time as a non-steroidal medication or an antibiotic or whatever it is you're taking. And that is not true, because even though these ingredients are natural, sometimes they can interfere with how medications are working if you're taking them at the same time. So there is a way that we can take natural supplements if we are taking medications. If it's a question that you have and you're concerned, please let me know. If I don't know the answer, I will speak with Dr. Chang. And for those of you who don't know who he is the CEO and chief formulator of all three of our product lines. We have a toll-free number. You can contact me directly. I'm here to help you, as I've helped others in the past years. And I hope you will reach out if you do have any questions. But now is the time. If you have any questions about this morning's presentation, if you have any questions, you can write your questions out in the chat, or you can write your questions out in the Q&A, if you do have any questions. If you don't have any questions at this time, that is completely fine. You will receive the recording tomorrow, a copy of the presentation. And anytime you can ask questions about any of the products to me. It doesn't have to be about this particular topic, but I just wanted to let everyone know that I'm here all year for everybody. I do appreciate you joining me this morning and kickstarting the new year in the right way with regards to education. And I hope you will come back next month, because we do have these webinars ongoing. Watch our social media for the announcements. They are the first Tuesday of most months, and the first Thursday morning. 11 a.m. Eastern time of most months. I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you for joining me. If there are no questions, we will sign off. And Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me, and have a great day.